Okay, so today we're going to talk about subtracting mixed numbers. So we've added mixed numbers. We know that when we add mixed numbers, we have to make sure that our denominators are the same, which they always will be for what we're working with. And we have to make sure that we do fractions first. So you always do the fractions. Then once you've dealt with them, then you can move on to the whole numbers. It's the same with subtracting mixed numbers. Subtraction, just sometimes we have to add a couple more steps in. So, when we subtract mixed numbers, we remember, I know that's super hard for you to see, but we remember that fractions are first. So we see we have 7 3/8 minus 3 5/8. Fractions first. So I'm going to have, can I do 3/8 minus 5/8 if I'm dealing with my fractions first? No, I can't, which means I'm going to have to rename the fraction. So when I do that, I know that I had 7 3/8. Well, I know I'm going to need more than 3/8 to be able to take my 5/8 away from it. So I need to rename it. I need to break this down. So really, I could say that 7 wholes is the same as 6 wholes and 8/8 because 8/8 is 1, 1 plus 6 is 7. So if you can't subtract your fractions, you've got to come to your first mixed number and rename it. It's going to get improper for a second if you have to rename it, but it'll all work out in the end. It's fine. Don't stress about it being improper. So when I rename it, I have 6 and 8/8, and I've still got these 3/8 up here, which means I need to add my 8s. So now we have 6 and 11/8 minus 3 5/8 because 7 3/8, I broke it down to 6 and 8/8 plus 3/8, which gives me 6 and 11/8. Right here. Here's what's super important. It is okay to have an improper fraction at this step. We're not done. So you can have an improper fraction in the middle, but just not at your final step. So don't let this improper fraction stress you out. So 6 and 11/8 minus 3 5/8. Now I'm going to check my fractions again because I still have to do fractions first. 11/8 minus 5/8. Well, my denominators are the same, so I can do that. That gives me 6/8. 6/8 is a proper fraction. So here's where I need to check. Is it a proper fraction? When I subtract, do I get a proper fraction? If my answer is yes, then I can move on to my whole numbers. If my answer is no, then I need to convert it to a mixed number and then move on. This is proper. I'm good to go. Now I can do my whole numbers. 6 minus 3 is 3. So when I put those together, I have 3 wholes and 6/8. So we just found out that 7 3/8 minus 3 5/8 equals 6/8. We started off with a bit of a tricky one. That's okay. Most times, you are going to have to break apart your first mixed number when you subtract. I'm going to show you one where you don't have to break it apart, and then we're going to do another one where you do. So, and sometimes you might get, so this is 4 7/10 minus 3/10. So I have a mixed number minus a fraction, so there's not even another mixed number there. I still always start out fractions first. 7/10 minus 3/10. Can I do that? Sure, my denominators are the same. 7 minus 3 is 4. Is 4/10 a proper fraction? It sure is. So I know that that works. I know I don't have a whole number to take away, so my whole number is just going to be 4. So when I add 4 and then my 4/10 together, I get 4 4/10. So 4 7/10 minus 3/10 is 4 4/10. So on every single one, you're not going to have to break it down, but we're going to do another one where you do. Okay, and these that I'm pulling, and the one we just did, and the one we're getting ready to do, they're from your activity for today. So we're going to go through a couple of them that you won't have to do when you log in to do your work. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. So right now we're going to do 2 3/8 minus 5/8. Okay, so I've got a mixed number minus a fraction. Well, I'm still going to do fractions first. So, 3/8 minus 5/8. I'll write it down here so you can see it. So we can see, can we do 3/8 minus 5/8? If I have 3/8 of a pizza, can I give you 5/8 of a pizza? No, I can't. So I can't do that subtraction, which means I've got to rename this mixed number. When I rename this mixed number, I'm always going to go one whole less than what I have. So one whole less than 2 is 1. The denominator that I'm working with is 8. So I've got 1 and 8/8. That's the same as 2 wholes. Well, now when I rewrite it, I need to add my 8/8 to my 3/8. So really I have 1, 8 plus 3 is 11, 1 and 11/8 minus 5/8. Okay, so now I'm going to check my fractions again. Can I do 11/8 minus 5/8? I sure can. My denominators are the same. 11 minus 5 is 6. So now I have 6/8. Is that a proper fraction or an improper fraction? It is proper, so we know that that's good to stick. We know we also only have one whole number, so it's going to be 1 and 6/8. So 2 and 3/8 minus 5/8 equals 1 and 6/8. If you reduce that 6/8, you can simplify it. We're not worrying about simplifying right now, but you could simplify it down to 3/4. But 1 and 6/8 works for the answer. So we had to rename and break down this mixed number to be able to do our fractions first subtraction. All right, we're going to do one more. Okay. 6 and 4/10 minus 3 and 8/10. So this is a mixed number minus mixed number. We are going to try fractions first. That's how we always start. So we're going to start 4/10 minus 8/10. Can I do that? Can I do 4/10 minus 8/10? No. So that means I'm going to have to break down my mixed number and rename it. So I always do one whole less than the whole that I have. So one whole less than 6 is 5. And then my denominator is 10. So I know 10/10 makes a whole. 5 and 10/10 is the same as 6 wholes. So that means I need to add. So now I'm going to have my 5 wholes. 10/10 plus 4/10 is 14/10. So 6 and 4/10 I have just renamed to 5 and 14/10 minus 3 and 8/10. Okay, now I'm going to do fractions first. 14/10 minus 8/10 equals, okay, so they're both tenths, so I can subtract. 14 minus 8 is 6. 6/10, proper or improper? I know that 6/10 is proper, so that fraction can stay. I don't have to do anything else with it. My fractions are finished. Now I'm going to move on to my whole numbers. 5 minus 3 equals 2. So when I put these together, I get 2 and 6/10, which means 6 and 4/10 minus 3 and 8/10 equals 2 and 6/10. If I were to simplify that 6/10, again, you don't have to do that, but if I were, it would give me 2 and 3/5. So when you subtract a fraction from a mixed number or a mixed number from a mixed number, you always do your fractions first, because sometimes you are going to have to break down your first mixed number and make it improper for the middle step until you can have enough to subtract for your final step.